Yo, 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 what's going on at the fight? What is your boy Money back with another one, man? And we're gonna have a very interesting guest today. We'll have the great Brian Custer in the building. You know what I mean? My bro Kigo attack this how we attack any other great interview with a great individual. Yes, sir, Brody, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, Brian Custer, man. Brian, I love Brian Custer, man. He is real dude. He's real.
Man, I got so much admiration for him, bro.
Yeah, man. And
That's
he
how it
answers,
should be.
and he asks the questions that everybody wants to. You be watching this podcast, like, man, I hope he asks them. He always asks the right questions that everybody want to know.
As a real one too, don't he?
Yeah.
Let's
Yes,
see.
sir. Todd Swindle, what's happening with it? Terry Smoot Jr., Leon Robinson, what's good? Alex Camacho, Tom Brown, Terry Smoot Jr., Mr. J Dub, 20 Texas, what's happening with it? Yes, sir.
Y'all smash a like button, shot coming to the building, famo.
I-
Appreciate everybody for jumping in, showing love.
I'll be right back.
Robert Morales and that super chat with that super sticker. I appreciate you, my brother. Much love, much appreciated, fam. What's good with you, champ? Polo Sports Talk NT was going down. Xavier Moses, how you feeling? Shayna and my knockout voice. We in here. Sleeper was going down, my brother. Abdul Wahid. That's how you pronounce it. It's going down. Oz I, Bumpy Thompson, Ty Swindle, Leon Robinson. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling, bro? Much respect to you, champ. You know, we trying to get it in. We trying to get it in. Do it how we can. You feel me? We're gonna have to break Brian Custer, about 22 minutes. Let the people get in the building. TN Race 615. That's Tennessee race. What's going down, bro? Alex Carrillo, what's going down, bro? Yes, sir, man. About to have a great Brian in the building. Dennis James TV, what's going down? G5, what's going down, bro?
G5 Gay, what's happening with it?
Oz I, what's going down, famo? It's gonna be a good one, man. It's gonna be a good one. And Brian Cussy just left the press conference that they had with Jamel Charlo and Brian Castano. In case y'all didn't catch that deal earlier. Matorio Shoddy say just subscribe. That's up. Appreciate you, Matorio, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Lent ball. Make sure you subscribe to my bro too. Everything boxing if you're not. Yeah, man, we gonna get to learn about Brian Custer a little bit. If y'all don't know who Brian Custer is, a great individual, bro. And if y'all not subscribed to the Last Stand podcast, make sure y'all go subscribe to the Last Stand podcast.
Yes, sir.
My brother Underground Asylum in the building. What's going down, bro?
Underground Asylum, what's happening with it?
Say everything was speaking facts on Ali. Yeah, he was, bro. We all know how that went.
But see, they try to flip the story, and a lot of people they don't know that.
Now tomorrow the weigh-ins, Shayna. Fridays the weigh-ins, Saturdays the fight, Thursday the last press conferences. Yeah, everybody, you know what I'm saying? How they did Muhammad Ali, man. Didn't want to call a man Muhammad Ali. He had to, put himself in position to be called Muhammad Ali.
Right. Remember, they were still calling him Cassius Clay and being disrespectful. He like, don't call me my name Muhammad Ali now. Change. They a lot of them they refused to call him Muhammad Ali for a long
All
time.
right. Cassandra was going down, Gwen. For real. So, and I like when Keith touched on that too, because when Malik Scott had, said the things about Deontay Wilder and Muhammad Ali, they tried to make it as if he was saying, "Oh, he's greater than Muhammad Ali," things of this nature. But clearly switched the man words up when the man clearly told y'all, right, that he was talking about the things that Muhammad Ali had to go through in court. Just like when Deontay Wilder, after the fight, he didn't just go sit down. He had to go to court. He had to get ready, and then he had to go to court and deal with all the pressure that was on him. So all he's saying is the pressure that the man was dealing with, right, was compared to what Muhammad Ali was dealing with. Period.
And they got the same characters. They both outspoken on issues that need to be heard. And
Yeah, so we ain't really worrying about other people, man.
man,
My brothers, Sammy Hassan, much love, much appreciated, bro. Say 10 for what's good, Ken, folks, man. I appreciate that love, fam.
yes, sir. Man, you see my Phoenix, man. Oh yeah, you was doing the live show. That's why I was kind of when you was doing your show last night. That's why when I was like, I ain't hear you say that. I was watching the game too, so I was in and out. Man, the Phoenix Suns, man.
I thought the Bucks was gonna win that day myself.
Man, the Phoenix should have won that game though.
They
They blew
blew it.
that game, bro. But what happened is Booker was getting off. Devin Booker was killing him, and he got in foul trouble. You know what I'm saying? He had got 5 fouls, and so he had to sit out the fourth quarter. He sat out most of the fourth quarter early on. By the time he came back, shit, the Bucks had the momentum, and
Right.
Phoenix started falling apart.
BN Boxing, much love, much appreciated in that super chat, bro. So I salute Money and Keon. Dudes sell out for clicks. Exactly, bro. All the time.
ENB Boxing News, what's happening with it? Salute to you again.
Knockout was going down. So Money putting in that work. Yeah, me and keep putting in that work. You putting in that work. We all putting in that work. You feel me? That's what you got to do if you want to grow your channel. You feel me? Not snoop up on the people trying to use other people's channels for clout. You feel me? Work hard. You know what I
Right.
mean? If you got any type of talent about yourself, work hard, put your channel on. You got cats trying to use other cats' channels to grow. You feel me? That ain't how that work, homie.
Crazy, bro. Gotta watch these dudes out here, man, for real.
Yeah, I got you knockout.
Polo Sports Talk, he say Bucks physically got the advantage and Brook playing less help them to Phoenix in trouble. Now Phoenix ain't in trouble, bro. I think that Phoenix is gonna win it now. Let me see. They go back to Phoenix for one game, and then they go back to the Bucks, and then Phoenix. Is that how they do it? I think so. They go to so the next game they go into Phoenix, then they go back to Milwaukee, and then they go back to Phoenix. Phoenix gonna win it. I say that Phoenix gonna win the next 2 games. I'm gonna say it.
You say the next two?
Yeah.
I think it go to game 7, me myself.
If it go to Game 7, Phoenix still gonna win
Yeah,
because
I got
they
Phoenix winning though.
in Phoenix.
Yeah, I got Phoenix winning. I do. I think it go to game 7. I think they win each game's at home. I do. I feel like how is it? Is it 2-3-2? I mean, sorry. Yeah,
Just-
2-3-2, right?
So
Or 2-2-1-1-1.
they go to Phoenix next game, then they go back to the Bucks, and then
But
they go back
okay,
to Phoenix. Yeah,
2-2-1-1-1. Okay.
yeah.
Like I said, I know you got this big interview money, but check it, no doubt. But psychologically have the advantage, and less. Brook playing less help them to Phoenix in trouble. Big Tony, what's going down? I look at it as they just protect the home court advantage, and them dudes, they did what they had to do at home court. So
Paulo Talk says Aiden struggled with Giannis defensive wise. Will it be 7 games? He said it will be 7 games. Yeah, Aiden is struggling with Giannis defensive. Yeah, he can't hold Giannis. I mean, but can't none of them dudes hold Giannis.
facts.
I wouldn't expect Aiden to be able to hold him. But see, what you got to do is you got to double team him and make somebody else show up. Knockout Boxer said, when my Mavericks lost, I dipped out on basketball. He says, I'm concentrating on the Super Bowl. My Cowboys about to win. Bruh, I'm a lifetime Cowboys fan, right? Come on, Knockout. I'm a lifetime Cowboys fan, but see, I'm one of the only few realistic Cowboys fans.
Thank you, Ken.
Every year for the last 26 years, we always talking about, we gonna win it this year. Man, no, we're not. The Cowboys ain't winning shit until Jerry Jones steps down from GM and they get a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. Period. Dak Prescott ain't it. He's not it. He wasn't it before, and I don't know why y'all think that he's it now coming off an injury like that. He's not it. Oh, well, his stats. Yeah, he gets a gang of cleanup stats when they behind by 27 points and the defense ain't playing no more. Pull up Dak Prescott's stats when it's a close game or when he's playing against a decent or a good defense. Look at his stats then. If we want to talk about stats, because that's what they do with, okay, well, does that translate into wins? No. Everybody always talking about, well, his stats. Well, pull up his stats against good defenses.
Facts.
Don't pull up his stats showing me that he threw for 400 and some yards and they lost the game and got blown out, or they was behind at one point by 24 points. Come on, man. Knockout Boxer 86 TV said, I know I jumped off the bandwagon, bro. He says, don't you dare throw a party when we win. Stay where you at. I ain't, man. You not going to win, so I'm not going to have to throw no party. I'm a realist. Polo Sports Talk, he said Dak will have a bounce back year, and Parsons is still in the Parsons is still in the draft. Oh yeah, definitely. Parsons.
Oh yeah, the linebacker, no doubt.
Yeah, that linebacker. He dope. And I like that. I like that dude. The cornerback that they got. He rap. Dude can rap too. His music kind of hard.
Yeah, Shayna, thank you so much, love. Thank you so much for the donation, Queen. Much love, much appreciated. Yeah, I told you about the linebacker. Yeah, he a monster. He a monster. He's from Penn State, right? Am I wrong?
Huh?
Where he come from?
Penn State, yep.
Yeah, like Penn State always produce great defensive players, bro.
But
Don't get me wrong, Saquon Barkley a monster, but they on the defense end, that's Penn State ammo.
Yep. Bro, Dak Prescott, what do you mean he gonna have a bounce back year? He ain't did shit. I mean, y'all going off of stats, but he really ain't did shit since his rookie year. So what is he gonna bounce back from his rookie year? Well, he made it to the playoffs. Well, he ain't did shit. Look at the team they put around him. Look at the offense they put around him, and he still couldn't perform.
Man, that dude ain't coming there off the back making y'all no top 10 defense now and knockout. He still got to get his feet wet, bro. Like, don't get me wrong. He can run sideline to sideline with anybody, and I like his style. But, bro, we talking about the NFL here. All right? You got big grown motherfuckers that's gonna lock him up sometimes too. But top 10, come on, man.
Uh, and Sheena, salute to Sheena in the cash app. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Queen.
Yeah.
Knockout say, hey, knockout say, offensive line is healthy. Man, they Tyron he about to get Tyron is about to get hurt again. Leo Collins is always hurt ever since he was in college. Them dudes is gonna get hurt again. I'm just keeping it 100. Zeke, if he ain't got no offensive line, he ain't, Zeke ain't looked that good since his rookie year. Well, his second year he looked cool, but Zeke ain't looked good in a few years. Dak ain't never been shit since his rookie year. CeeDee Lamb is a beast. I mess with CeeDee Lamb heavy. CeeDee Lamb is a beast. Amari Cooper already hurt. He stay hurt all the time. He could play, but he hurt. I mean, Amari Cooper a beast, but he hurt all the time. And then you only as good as your quarterback. If you ain't got no quarterback that can really throw. See what Dak Prescott can't do? He can't throw into tight windows. That's what he cannot do. Polo Sports, he said it's not the offense, it's the defense. Plus, Dak is way more clutch than Romo. How? Dak Prescott, he can't make half of the throws that Romo could make. And I wasn't no Tony Romo fan at all. But Tony Romo was a better quarterback than Dak Prescott, straight up and down. Right. I ain't like Tony Romo. Dak Prescott's not half the quarterback that Tony Romo was. He can't make none of the throws that Tony Romo. He can't make the back shoulder fade. He can't. Dak Prescott can only throw to receivers that can get wide open. Why you think when Dak Prescott came in, he made Dez Bryant look like trash? Because Dez Bryant is a receiver that can't. Dez Bryant is a receiver. He don't get a lot of separation. You dig? So Dez Bryant, he's one of them dudes. 50-50 balls, and you got to be able to throw into tight windows with Dez Bryant. Dak Prescott came and made Dez Bryant look like trash. He can't make them throws.
Yeah, you can say that knockout, but come on, man. Tony Romo was a better quarterback, bro.
Bro, come on.
Come on, bro. We talking about you gotta look at the season too. Yeah, he blew a couple opportunities in the playoffs. But how far did Dak Prescott go in the playoffs? Answer me that, homie.
Big Texas. I'm not no Cowboys hater. I'm a realist. I'm a lifelong Cowboys fan ever since I knew what football was. But I'm a realist. The definition of insanity is doing the same shit over and over and over and over again and get the same results. Y'all come every year talking about the Cowboys is going to win the Super Bowl. 26 years, and you still ain't even made it to the NFC Championship game. Come on, bro. I'm not doing it no more. I ain't doing it no more. I'm not finna sit up here and lie to y'all and tell y'all that the Cowboys are going, yeah, this is the year. Man, I got sick of after 24 years. I was like, yeah, I'm done saying that shit. And he don't really want no coach. He don't want no Jerry Jones. Don't want a coach that can really run shit. He want a yes man coach. You see how he got rid of Jimmy Johnson?
Jimmy Johnson, exactly. He had a Jimmy Johnson ever since. And ever since he lost Jimmy Johnson, he went down here. Had some good years. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, they the most talked about team in the NFL, but that shit don't translate to wins. Being the most talked about team in the NFL, DD, that don't mean nothing to me.
So when is the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl? You're talking about the most talked about.
Bro, we ain't even made it to NFC Championship. We ain't even won more than one game in the playoffs. And they talking about the Super Bowl. You had the worst defense in the NFL last year we had. But we going to a Super Bowl? Come on, bro.
And then y'all talking about y'all in the NFC with the Los Angeles / St. Louis Rams, man. Y'all not going nowhere, man.
Man,
Nowhere, man.
well, I'm just keeping it real. You could be the biggest fan all you want to, but if you ain't gonna keep it, see, like I said, after 24 straight years, I was like, man, I gotta start keeping it real. I'm not about to be kicking and throwing punches in the air mad every year because I keep on making myself believe a lie.
Key, that's
Y'all
half your
keep
life.
believing that lie if you want to. The
24
Cowboys ain't
straight
making
years,
it
bro.
to nobody Super Bowl. They not gonna win no games in the playoffs. If they do make it to the playoffs, they lucky to win one game. It ain't going no further than that.
24 straight years, man.
And I'll be willing to bet anybody that want to bet that the Cowboys will not win more than one game if they do make it to the playoffs.
Big Texas. How come we not getting out of our division, man? We're the hottest team in the division, bro. What do you mean?
You
What do
know,
you
I
mean,
don't
bro?
give a damn about no Rams.
We just
But
added Matthew Stafford. I'm saying I would have preferred Aaron Rodgers, right? I think if we waited, we probably could have got Aaron Rodgers. But still, we just got somebody, man, that can make the throws, bro. And that ain't go like. Don't get me wrong, Jared Goff is a hell of a quarterback. It's just his layoffs. It's his 2 week layoffs ain't that good. And then, him squeezing the ball in tight windows and him holding on to the ball is what blew us a Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford got that rocket. You feel me? That rocket that can get in there, bro. So you'll see, man. You'll see. And we added some key pieces in the draft too. You see, we
yeah, I
don't
saw
need
the draft. Polo Sports talk. I saw the draft. I like Parsons. He a beast. I even like the cornerback that we picked up from where that corner, the dude that rap. I think he gonna be good, right? But we had the worst defense in the NFL. Plus, y'all talk. Plus, my man Knockout talking about right. My man Knockout is talking about the offensive line is healthy. That don't everybody healthy right now.
facts.
Training camp just finished start. They all healthy.
Facts. I'm
Tyron
tell,
Smith.
I'm
Tyron
telling I
Smith.
got something.
I'm telling you, I guarantee I'll be willing to bet anybody on here right now, Tyron Smith will be hurt again. He gonna be hurt again.
All right. No.
Leal Collins. He a beast. He's gonna be hurt again. Them dude, if you injury prone and you hurt every single year, I was saying years ago, right? I said about 3 years ago, I said they need to get rid of Tyron Smith right now where they can still get a whole bunch of value for him because he's just a player that's going to be, once you start having back injuries like that and you that big, get rid of him. Get rid of him. Because especially why they can get a whole bunch of value. I said the same thing about my Lakers with Anthony Davis. They need to trade Anthony Davis and get rid of him because Anthony Davis has shown throughout his whole career that he's going to be injured. He's a great player, just like Tyron Smith is a great player for the Cowboys, but they injury prone. When you injury prone like that, it's just look shit. I mean, what can you do? You're no good if you're gonna be on the bench all the time. I don't care how good you are.
Facts. Hey, Naka, let me tell you something. Hold on. Can you see? Say you trying to dog? Look, Matthew Stafford ain't had an offense like this and a defense like this in a while. He never had a defense like this, right? He had a good offense when he had, Calvin Johnson and things of that nature. But now he have multiple weapons, bro. You feel me? We have a stud in Cam Akers in the backfield. You understand what I'm saying? A straight offensive line, bro. You got to understand, bro. You got to understand. It's different, dog. It's different now. It's different now, bro. And then he got Sean McVay, the hottest offensive coach in the game. It gets when it comes to Sean McVay, bro, it gets no hotter than Sean McVay, dog. When you talking about an offensive genius, bro, and what he picked up and what he learned, oh man, we finna have a fun year, bro. I can't wait.
Me and Knockout gonna have a fun year, man. Cause I'm a Cowboys fan, but Knockout, you delusional, man. Knockout is me. I was Knockout boxing 86 TV when it came to the Cowboys for like 24, 23 straight years. I was Knockout 86 TV.
Key, let me stop. And I'm gonna let you go, Key. Let me stop. Knockout. Let me tell you something, bro. We have 2,000-yard receivers on our squad, bro. Two great route runners. And then we had Deshaun Jackson. As long as we don't need Deshaun Jackson to come in and do this and do that. We just need him to stretch that field. You understand what I'm saying? But we add more offensive weapons. The receivers that we got, bro. Oh man, it's gonna get nasty, dog. You'll see. You'll see. He got so many weapons to play with. Oh, we got the great Brian in the building, man. The great Brian Custer in the building. Brian, how you doing, my brother?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. This is my brother right here, Keon from Everything Boxing and Sports.
How you doing, Brian?
Great, man. How you guys doing?
Good to have you on.
Chilling. First, I want to thank you, Brian. I understand you got a busy day today, man. We just watched you too on the Showtime. Great job. You know, in a hostile environment, a great job. But Brian, we know you ain't got that much time, so we go question up. For the people in the chat, could you give us a little background on who was Brian Custer?
Yeah, that's a hard one. It all depends on what are you trying to, whether they want to know, what exactly are they looking for?
The build up of Brian Custer, where you come from.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the Cliff Notes version is born and bred in Columbus, Ohio. As I like to say, Buckeye born and bred. Moved to Dallas shortly after college, where I went to Hampton University. And, you know, I mean, I don't know what more you want. That's my background, and, you know, just been working ever since college.
Okay. We see that you're you said second degree black belt. What got you into karate?
So yeah, I started the martial arts as a kid. I was always fascinated with Bruce Lee. He was, you know, obviously a hero of mine. And as I became an adult, you know, one of the things I always said was I was going to practice because I couldn't afford it when I was younger.
Okay.
And so I got into Taekwondo, you know, years ago, and you know, I still practice today. It keeps me limber, keeps me fresh. It trains you more mentally than it does physically, I think, and that, to me, that's what I love more about the art. So yeah, I'm a second degree black belt in Taekwondo, and supposed to test in September for my third degree, but I don't know, being on the road so much keeps me away from training as much as I need to. So I don't know if I'll actually take that test, because I want to be well prepared when you take it.
Okay. So how do degrees go? Because I'm not too familiar with the degrees. So the third degree is the highest?
No, you know, you want to be ultimately, I think, a grandmaster is a 7th dan, which is 7 degrees. But you know, when it depends on where you go and what school you are. You know, you have different belts. You start off as a white belt. You go from white to yellow, from yellow to green to blue, from blue to red, and then you test for your black belt. And you know, once you become a black belt, if it's an accredited school, you know, you can't really test for 2 years. That means you have to practice for another 2 years before you can test. And so that's kind of where we are. And so my 2 years has been up, and it's time for me to test again. But again, those tests are like 2 hours, and again, they try to test you physically as well as mentally to see if they can break you. And I just want to be at my best if I'm gonna do this in September. But you know, being on the road every week is hard to get into that dojo as much as you need to. So usually I'm only in there maybe 1 day or 2 days, and you got to be in there a lot more if you're gonna test.
Okay. Key, what you got for the great Brian?
Hey, what's going on, Brian? Were you always a big boxing fan, and what was the first big boxing event that you was a part of?
Yeah, so I think, you know, for me, you know, I've always loved the sport. I think like most of us grew up watching it with my, you know, uncle, my grandmother. So, you know, I grew up watching Ali on network television. And I always knew that I wanted to get into it. And I'll be honest with you, I remember when I was in college and watching Castillo and Diego Corrales fight. I mean, I was like, after watching that fight, I was like, man, I got to get into boxing. That is something I've got to get into. So, you know, once I started training in martial arts, you know, part of the training is part of our training is learning other disciplines. So, you know, We do some jujitsu. Obviously, you have to box as well. So it gave me the opportunity to fight some. And it was just like, man, I got to get into this sport. But I will say, watching that fight in college was the time where I said, this is one of the fields that I'm going to work in. I mean, I love basketball, I love football, but I knew boxing was going to be a part of my future.
Okay. I want to ask this, B. Coming up, right? Because you say you love karate. What was your dream coming up? Like I know commentating wasn't it. I know it looked like you was in a sport. Did you want to play some type of sport coming up?
Yeah, I mean, I think like, a lot of youngsters today, for me, I thought I was going to be a hooper, and I thought I was going to be in the NBA, but, that kind of ended once I, only grew to be 6'2", and, going to Hampton, I knew once going to Hampton, it wasn't like I was going straight from Hampton into the NBA. So it was like, all right, I know I got to have something else. And I've just always been fascinated with television. I was fascinated with television as a kid, and, watching, whether it's Sports Center or whatever, just sports all the time. Always knew that this was the line of work that I wanted to get into. So when I went to Hampton, my focus was getting a degree in broadcast journalism, because I knew this was the field I wanted to get into.
Okay. And I want to ask you something back to my brother. We know you had a fight that you was diagnosed with cancer, right?
Yes.
Man, I wanted to ask, like, when did you find out that you was diagnosed, and what was your reaction? Because I know that had to be hard for you.
Yeah, it was eye-opening. I am probably like, I could honestly say in my family, I'm probably the one guy who always goes to the doctor. That's been a problem, I think, with Black men in general, is that we don't go to the doctor annually like we should. Right. But for me, even when I started working and got my first job, I would go to the doctor to get an annual physical all the time, and I was always in great shape. I've always lived a healthy lifestyle, ate reasonably well. So I want to say I remember I was 40, and at the time our job was sponsoring this health fair, and I was trying to get my colleagues to go because they never went to the doctor. So I was like, look, I'm gonna go with y'all, and we're gonna go together, because I was just trying to get them to go. And we went to the health fair, and part of the health fair was not only that they did an annual physical, but they gave you a PSA test, which is obviously the test that you should have for prostate cancer. It's the first and one of the best tests they have to find out whether or not you have prostate cancer. And so we all went and had the checkup, and I went and had the PSA test done, and like everyone else, and then I got my results back, and they were high. And I just remember calling the doctor, and he told us, hey, come back in, let me do the test again. We took the test again, and the number came back high again, and he was like, I think I need to refer you to a specialist, and you probably need to have a biopsy done. And at that time, I was just like, whoa, for what? Why? And he was like, that number's really high. And yeah, and once I went, had the biopsy done, they told me that I had cancer and it was aggressive, and that, basically I needed to have surgery immediately, or, I would be dead within a year.
Man, so right now everything is smooth, cancer free, right?
Yeah. So, thank goodness, that was that was a good 7 years ago. So, obviously I had surgery, and, I go to the doctor every 6 months now. I have to get my, obviously to have my checkup, and, thank goodness and thank God that everything has been great for me since then. Yeah, I just, one thing I tell people all the time, especially Black men, you need to go get an annual physical. That's number one. I don't care what age you are, but if you are 40 years old and older and a person of color, you need to get a PSA test done, because it can save your life. It saved mine. Had I not had that PSA test done when I went to that health fair to get that physical, I wouldn't be talking to you guys right now.
Man, thank the Lord for that. That's your build your makeup, and I do appreciate that you do make that a part of your life, encouraging us black men to go get that PSA test.
Absolutely.
Key, what's up for the great Brian, Key?
Yeah, I always talk about how I love your podcast. I think you got the best podcast out there.
Oh, thank you, man.
Hands down.
I mean, you ask all of the questions that we want to hear. I'm watching and I'm like, man, I hope he asks. And you always get the question out that the fans want. And plus, the end of the show, you let the fans interact. So I love your podcast. Now, one thing I've been wanting to ask you is, who would you say was the fighter that was the most difficult to interview? That's short, like you can't really ask them, that's they on edge all the time. And then after you answer that, who is the fighter that you most enjoyed interviewing? That you it's just like a party, having a good time.
Yeah, I think this may sound like a stereotypical answer, but I will honestly say that everybody that I've had on that I've enjoyed, because I've learned a little something from everybody. And so that part of it is I would say everybody. I don't think there's not one person that we haven't had on where I got off and said, man, I didn't enjoy that at all. So I think everybody has been enjoyable. Obviously, there's some that probably comes through more than others that, I have probably a closer relationship with, whether it's Errol Spence or whomever, that probably comes through. But I don't know if he was being difficult. I will just say that I think when I had Deontay Wilder on, I think D had his agenda, and he wasn't going to be swayed by anything. And so I think if you notice in some of the questions, I would try to get it out. He would cut me off and just boom, go to his answer. And so I think he already had in his mind, I'm gonna get this out. I don't care what he gonna ask me. I'm gonna get this out whether what. And there were a number of times where I said, but don't you think Deontay? And then he would just go. Yeah. And I hadn't even got the question out. And so I mean, I just don't. But even when it was over, I enjoyed it because I was like, okay, hey, look, he gave me the time, and I think we went up almost an hour. So that part of it was cool. But I would say it was that part because, I want to say, his people were like, yo, it's been an hour. Y'all got to rap. And, there was so much more even I wanted to ask him, but his answers were so long and he was just dead set on getting them out that I couldn't interject a lot of times. So I don't know. I wouldn't call it difficult. It was, probably more different than the other ones.
And I'm happy my brother said it because it was one of my things was it doesn't matter who come through Brian Custer. It seemed like they relaxed. Like I saw Deontay Wilder not do, but some fighters that you interview with other people, it don't seem like they relax. So majority of the time, like you say, B, all the fighters that's on your podcast, it's like they relaxing at home. Even with Mel, because we know Mel is a ticking bomb. Yeah. I mean, he was cool, calm, and collective, and I say that, and this is my feelings about Brian Custer. He's like the father that every young kid wants, but he's like the big brother that everybody wants as well because of the cool, laid back demeanor you got. You feel me? And it just make people feel comfortable, bro. Even with Canelo, like everybody just cool, calm, collective. Yeah.
Yeah, and then listen, even to there, I was appreciative that Canelo 8 did it. And listen, the DAZN people fought. I mean, and I give them credit because at the end they did say okay. And I'm happy that Canelo said yes. Like, okay, no. I know Brian from the past when I used to fight on Showtime. Yes, I want to do it. And then I asked if he would at least do some of it in English, which he agreed to, which was great for me. And then we did have the interpreter there. But I'm just happy that he did it. And, they gave me initially 15 minutes is what DAZN said. Matter of fact, I had my phone and I had the clock and they had theirs. And as soon as we started, they started. But you can see after 10 minutes, we wrapped it up because they were like, wrap. You're too long. It's been long enough. Nah. So, but at least I was happy that they gave me the time. And when it comes to the interviews, I would say the same thing. If I was on with you cats, and I was having y'all on, first thing I would say is, hey man, we're gonna do this interview. Let's have some fun. If there's some hard questions, hey man, I'm just gonna let you know there's a couple of hard questions I'm gonna have for you that stems around whatever you have been involved in. I'm just letting you know from jump that I am going to ask you about that. So, because I don't want them to ever feel like this is 60 minutes where it's gotcha type journalism. So at least they know going in, okay, at least he's going to ask me about this, and whatever your answer is your answer. But just know that I'm going to ask you about it.
Facts. And I think that's why the fans appreciate it and enjoy it, man. I mean, like, because you is a straight shooter, and I think we all got to appreciate that, because sometimes we see interviews, talk to fighters, some fighters some interviews got their certain agenda, but then you got some fighters that they don't want to be asked a tough question, especially depending on the situation, So yes. I think we enjoy that with you. What did you come up with the Last Stand podcast? Where did that come from?
Just a play off my last name. I mean, so Custer's Last Stand. So I figured that that would probably be a great way to name it. And plus, I figured whenever we have somebody on there, I always say, hey, look, take a stand here,
Okay.
Come on, give me the unfiltered straight talk. And so that's kind of how we came up with the name of it, because, whomever we come on here, I always say, hey, look, this is your opportunity to take a stand. This is your last stand. And if this is your last interview, hey, go out with a bang, and give us the truth. Don't sugarcoat nothing, and let's have a good, frank discussion.
Yes, sir. One more that I'm passing my brother. What is it that drive Brian Custer though? What is that gets you going besides family? You know what I mean? I know that's always
yeah.
But what is it that get Brian Custer up in the morning that get you going, D?
Yeah, you hit it. I mean, first of all, it is obviously my family, my wife, my three boys. That's number one. But really, I'll be honest with you, and this may sound crazy, but to be great. When I got into this business, no matter what I did, I've always been driven. Whether it was playing sports, I think people will tell you, whether it's my old coach, whatever. In fact, my high school just put me in the Hall of Fame not too long ago, and my coach was the one who presented me. And so, I was really honored about that. But I've always been a driven guy, and what drives me has always been to be great. And when I got in this business, I wanted to go down. I always wanted people to say, man, that guy was one of the greats to ever do it. And so for me, that's why I do this. It's why I came to Showtime, because I wanted to be great. It's why, I'm obviously going to be doing stuff with ESPN and doing SportsCenter, because I wanted to be great. And, there's no bigger platform than the worldwide leader. So, anything that I've done, I've always been driven to be, not good, but great at it. And that's probably why I go so hard.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What you got for him, Keith?
I got two questions for you, Brian. Now, obviously, you got the Last Stand podcast. When did you say, you know what, I'm going to come up with a podcast and I'm going to do it on YouTube? When did that, materialize? When did that come about?
Well, I think, first of all, I would say everybody who's watching this, I need all of y'all to go to the Last Stand podcast on YouTube and subscribe. I mean, that's easy. It ain't going to cost you nothing. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button and we good.
Yeah, hit that bell icon when you watch his videos.
Hit that bell icon. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's number one. I'll be honest with you. I have been approached a number of times about doing a podcast. And the only reason why I had never done it in the past was because when people approached me, it was like, hey, this is what we're going to do. We want you to interview this kind of person. And then we want you to interview a doctor about this. And it was like, okay, I can't even dictate what the content's going to be. So, I mean, obviously they're going to pay me, but I'll be hitting my head up against the wall talking about something that I have no interest in.
Right.
For a check. And so that's why I had never done it. And then, once the pandemic hit, sports had stopped at one point. There was nothing going on. And so I was sitting at home and I was like, well, you know what? If I'm going to do it, why don't I just do it by myself? And I do it, dictate how I want the format going to be. And, I had a number of people who obviously from being in this business so long that I had in my phone. And so I said, okay, well, this is what I'm gonna do. I came up with the name, came up with the concept, and then I just said I'm just going to do it. And I got together with a good friend of mine to help me to produce it. And as you guys know, I mean, it takes, you need money to keep this thing going. So I had to go out there and try to get sponsors, and that's always rough, trying to get sponsors, to sponsor the podcast, because I have to pay a guy who has to, edit it. I have to pay people who have to put the graphics and all that stuff. So it was like, whoa, man, I had to hit the pavement going. But luckily, the pandemic was going on, so I had time to do it. And it gave me the opportunity to say, okay, let me do this and pump an episode out every week. And then I just went to the phone and just started calling people, whether it was Errol, whether it was Bud Crawford, whether it was Deontay Wilder, whether it was Ice Cube, whether it was Rosie Perez, whoever it was. I just went through my phone and just started calling all the people I knew. And thank God they were like, yo, yeah, you doing the podcast? Okay, I'll do it. And thank goodness for that. But as you know, it's a lot of work, getting people's schedules, getting them to say, well, we can only do it at this time, and making sure that fits. And then, for me, the sponsor, I mean, that's even a task now. It was like, just, whoa, I got to get a sponsor going. I got to, I want to keep this podcast running, but I got to get a sponsor to pay for the editor, to pay for the marketing person. So, it's always been a lot of work, but a labor of love, because again, it gives me the opportunity to show some of these guys in a different light. Some people may have this image and this perception of a person, and then all of a sudden they see him on the podcast and be like, you know what? I like this guy, or I better understand this person, that I thought he was this way, but I see, he's really different, or she is really different.
Right. And I got one more question about you, because I mean, it's a story, and a lot of people want to know this, your take on this. So, with the whole Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury thing, Tyson Fury just came out with the news, what was it, on Thursday, that he had tested positive for COVID, right? Yeah. But then after that, we've seen him, first they said there was an outbreak in his camp, and then we seen like the same people that they were saying that had COVID, they out at UFC events, at the gym. Now we're seeing Tyson Fury, he's been out, he was at the car dealership, he was at the casino. So a lot of people saying, wait, hold on, this is fishy. Like, dude, he doesn't look like he really have COVID. Like, how are you, you just had COVID and now you out with no mask on, around people, hanging around you here and there. And I just wanted your take on that, because with that being said, Deontay Wilder had to take him to court just to get him in the ring. So to a lot of people, it's like looking like, well, he never wanted to fight in the first place. So the perfect thing to come up with is COVID. So, I mean, what's your take on that?
Yeah. So here's the thing, and it's probably going to be a take that you were like, oh man, I can't believe that. But listen, there are a lot of people out there who contract COVID and are asymptomatic. And now, do they need to quarantine for 14 days? Absolutely. Some don't. That's number one. I think number two, I really don't, only for the simple fact that they're fighting on Fox pay-per-view and ESPN, and it's not really a Showtime pay-per-view fight. So I always kind of look at it like, that's y'all problems, not ours. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm not in their camp. It's almost kind of like the same thing. Like when I did the Deontay interview, so many people hit me up like, man, do you really believe him? And I always tell them all the time, who cares what I think? It's what he thinks and what he believes. And if that's what he believes, then, hey, look, who am I to tell him that his feelings are wrong? And I would say the same thing with Tyson Fury and them. Listen, we know that he supposedly contracted COVID. Maybe he's asymptomatic and feels like, well, I ain't got no symptoms. I'm going to go out there and still do what have you. I mean, I'm not there in their camp, so I couldn't tell you that. I do know that Deontay really wants to fight him again and wants to right that wrong. And it looks like that now he'll have to wait a couple more months or whatever it is. I think October now is what they said.
October 9th.
October 9th. October 9th.
Well, I heard it. They said October 9th. Then I heard another report that they're trying to push it back to like October 20th something.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's October 9th is what they just released, made it official today.
Oh, they did. Okay, I missed that.
Yeah, so it just. But the same venue. It's could still be at T-Mobile. There in Vegas. You just has to wait a couple more months, and then I guess we'll find out.
Okay, so, I can respect that. Just keeping the same energy.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I would maybe I'd feel a little bit different if they were fighting on Showtime pay-per-view like they did on the first one. But because they're not, I'm just like, okay, that's y'all's problems. Now that's something that ESPN and Fox has to deal with.
But no mask. That's my whole thing. It's like you saying that you just tested positive for COVID, but now you're around in public around people with no mask. So that was my whole thing.
And you want to make sure too that video's current and those pictures are current too, because a lot of times people doctor stuff, so you just never know. But again, that's something that ESPN and Fox pay-per-view got to deal with. Now Showtime, so we'll just have to wait.
Okay, you good on time, B?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I'm good.
So I wanted to ask you, just you been into the boxing world, who are some of the fighters that you like watching in the ring, and who is the most exciting fighter that you enjoy watching? Yeah,
I got a laundry list, man, because I'll tell you what, there's nothing more exciting than a Deontay Wilder fight, because you just don't know what's going to happen at that bad boy with that right hand he's got. Errol is obviously a guy that I'm a big Errol Spence fan, so I'm always going to be there to check him out. Bud Crawford, special. Tank Davis, electric. We got, listen, I think the great thing is this Saturday we have the undisputed championship here at 154 pounds with Jermell Charlo. And look, the Charlos are really talented fighters, and Mel, I give it to him. I think people used to look at Maul as the big puncher, but one of the things in doing my homework for this fight, Mel has knocked down 13. He's had 13 knockdowns in his last 8 fights. Mm-hmm. So he's knocking cats out. You look at Rosario, he dropped Rosario 3 times. So Mel is an exciting fighter. There's just so many guys that I thoroughly enjoy watching them, because I'm looking at them and I say, man, that's a talented dude. Teofimo, another one, talented. So, I got a laundry list of cats that you could put on there that I thoroughly enjoy watching, and I think that's the beauty of the sport too. Look, we were there when Anthony Joshua and Klitschko fought up in Wembley, and it was like 90,000 people. That was unbelievable, and it was a great fight. It was fight of the year that year. That was both guys go down, and then Joshua stops him at the end. It was So I love this job because it gives you the opportunity to be ringside for some of the biggest events in this sports history.
Okay, and what would you say was the most biggest fight that you commentated yourself, like that you was there?
Yeah, I think that Joshua Klitschko fight was outstanding. Obviously Pacquiao and Floyd was, from the spectacle part of it all, was unbelievable. Even him and McGregor. Being there and seeing that and being in that energy from the crowd, because you had boxing people, UFC people, and they both were bringing it. They both were lit. So, just those kind of fights are majestic, and that's what I love about the sport.
Okay. Yeah. Now, we have a big one coming up with Errol and Pacquiao. This is Team Spence over here, so a lot of people be getting on me about that. Yeah. But still a hell of a fight. Manny Pacquiao, you can never count out. And I always give Manny all this credit, right? Yeah. Especially when him and Keith Thurman went through in that fight. That was a hell of a fight. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that fight, Errol Spence, Manny Pacquiao coming up?
I think it's going to be a great fight. I'm gonna even go to it just as a fan. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be the first time I think I've attended a fight as a fan. So definitely going to go there. Manny is, he's a Hall of Famer. I think he said in the press conference, if he wins, he should be considered the greatest fighter of all time if he beats Errol Spence. But to me, I just look at it. Errol is in his prime. I think too big, too strong, too fast, and I just think Errol Spence wins that fight.
Okay. I got a question from Coach. He from out of New Orleans, going down, Coach. He say, Money asked him who would he think would win between Canelo versus Benavidez.
I think that would be an all-action fight. And listen, I know Canelo wants Caleb Plant because he wants to be undisputed at 168. But I really wish he would fight David Benavidez. And we had Benavidez fighting on the 28th of August.
Jose Uzataki, right?
Yeah, Uzataki. He's going to fight him. And that's going to be an action fight. But I really think those two would fight. Listen, Canelo, man, you got to give him his prop. That dude can fight, bro. That dude can fight. And I would love to see that fight. I think as of right now, though, I would give it to Canelo.
Man, I get called so many names. Be forgiven. Canelo is just do, man. Don't make no sense, bro.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I get it because what comes with him is even like in the podcast when I asked him about, listen, you've been caught with the steroids a couple times, and is that just that people look at you and is that a stain on your record? And he went to the meet and things of that nature. So, again, but listen, Julian Williams, who we had on the podcast, said this. 70% of the guys, he says, at the elite level are, in his opinion, on something. And it's shocking when you hear that. And I remember asking Charlo that question, like, why would you want to fight Canelo that bad if a number of guys said, man, the dude has been busted for using PEDs. Why would you even fight him? And they all say the same thing. That check is going to be too big to pass up. That just shows you how. I mean, when you talk about warriors and putting your life on the line, I mean, I give these guys props. They'll get in that ring, man, and put it on that line because they know if you're fighting Canelo, that check's going to be at least $8 million. That's on the small end.
On the small end.
That's on the small end of it. You know what I mean?
About.
If you a Charlo or you somebody of that ilk, you making at least $12 million and up. So how can you pass that up?
All right, Big Chuck, I'm gonna ask this question, man, but y'all gotta come with the real question, man. He say, Brian, would you go head to head on boxing with Max Kellerman and keep it real?
That's real funny. I've been asked that question because of going, now working at ESPN. Would I do their boxing stuff? And I'll just be honest with you. That one of the things that I negotiated with ESPN was that I was going to stay at Showtime. I mean, that was non-negotiable to me. And so, I love what we do at Showtime. I love our fight schedule, the type of fights we put on. And so even though I can't wait to be doing SportsCenter and calling games on ESPN, I don't think you would ever see me call any fights or do anything boxing related there anytime soon. And then other people ask me that question, like, are you going to debate Max and boxing? And, if they had me on a show and we had to do that, then no, I would welcome that day too. But, it's not, something that I'm looking forward to that, I think Max is, in his own lane, I'm in my lane. And if we do have to, do a show together, then, it'd be a nice spirited discussion. You better believe that.
They want y'all in the verses, D. They want y'all in the tell them come with the big check. Here,
right. Exactly.
What you got for me? What you got for the great one?
I'm gonna put you on the spot, Brian. I'm gonna put you on the spot now. So I want your two. If you can make two mega fights in boxing right now, who would your two fights be? And I want the winners of both of those fights.
Yeah, that now I don't know about the winners, but I will tell you this. I'm looking forward. I got Errol on as a guest this weekend on the show. Obviously, he's coming here to support Mel, so he's coming here. And one of the things, if you remember on the podcast, Errol said was, I'm not moving up to 154 until I said. Remember, he said until I fight Manny Pacquiao and Terrence Crawford.
Right.
And then I'm moving up to 154. And I'm asking that, is that still the case? You got Manny coming up. Are you going to stay at 147 until you get Terrence Crawford? So I think Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, to me, has to be a fight that needs to be. It has to be done, and hopefully, by the beginning of 2022, I think that fight needs to be made. That's number one. I think a fight. I think we all wanted. A fight that I really wanted to see. God, I wanted to see Wilder and Anthony Joshua. I wanted to see those two get it on. I think that's a fight that it needs to happen. And then to me, a fight that I would really like to see as well is I'd like to see Tank and Teofimo fight.
Me too.
I think that would be really. I mean, you got to hear Teofimo's dad talk. Man, that fight sells itself. He's like Teofimo's dad is like a modern day Angel Garcia. You know what I mean? So that build up to that fight would just be incredible too. So those are kind of the fights I'd like to see.
If you had to pick a winner, like if you just had to, let me get a winner in the Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fight. If you had,
that one there, man, you gonna make me insult some people there. That would be hard, man, because God, you getting two of these guys in their prime. But I tell you, man, EJ is just that's rude. And I know people have doubted him because of the car accident thing, but look what he did with Danny. Danny couldn't do anything. He just totally neutralized him. And I think EJ said it himself. He only felt 70% there. Yeah. Now he just feels like, man, I'm back to my old self. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. I've always been a really big Errol Spence supporter. I don't know. I think it's because he's given a couple of times he's allowed me to come to his camp and watch him. And when you get the opportunity and you see them up close and see what he's doing every day inside that hot box, and it's over 100 degrees up in that gym, man, and he's doing it. I'm like, man, you get this dude respect. This dude can fight.
And we gotta remember Brian, the one that gave us that little short clip of Charlo and
and that's it.
I was like, Brian, I'm like, woo.
Yeah, and people ask me like, "Yo, you ever?" And I know because there was some spots in that clip where they would throw them blows, and so I would never want to put the rest of that out there. I only gave you a little bit where they were circling each other, and
but that was some good work.
Yeah, good work. Watching them two spar, real good work. Yes, really good work. Yeah, absolutely.
We got one from my brother Drew Titan. He say, "Shout out to Custer." He say, "We spoke on the barbershop. Who wins, Ray Robinson or Hagler?"
Oh man, Sugar Ray Robinson, man, is my. I mean, him and Ali obviously are my favorite fighters of all time, man. Look, the Marvelous one was a dog, but man, I don't think anybody can top Sugar Ray Robinson, man.
Robinson I don't know. Monster.
He was a monster, man. He went through, and I think, I used to have it at the top of my head. I want to say it was like he went through an 8-year span where he didn't lose a fight, and he fought like it was just a ridiculous amount of fights that he fought, and I would never ever bet against Sugar Ray Robinson.
I'm with you on that, but I think Sugar Ray Robinson beat Hagler. I like Hagler though, but Robinson just hit too hard, man, with both hands. Like we got Big Trucker. He said, "Okay, bet." With Tyson Fury glove flapping around in one fight, his knuckles showing in the other. Do you think he cheated? Keep it 100. Y'all on burn with these controversial questions today.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, I just think that listen, that's on, to me, that's on the commission. That's the commission's job to make sure that the gloves. I mean, they go in there and they check, and that was one of the reasons why if you remember in the interview, I asked Deontay, I said, man, that's your team's job. Your team's job is to go in there, make sure you're in there when he gets his hands wrapped and he puts his gloves on. So that's your team's job to do that, to make sure everything is fair and square. So that's that. And listen, I understand people can cheat, and people can try to do some things, but I just think that's the commission's job to make sure that at least the wraps and the gloves are legit when these guys get into the ring.
Right, right. What you got for him, Key?
Oh man. So I'm just looking at some of the comments, and a lot of people want to know with Tank and Devin Haney. Tank and Devin Haney, how you see that fight going?
Yeah, that one. Here's the thing. I think Devin is a really highly skilled boxer. I think the problem is Gervonta keeps coming, and you may touch him, but when he touches you, that's going to be the problem. And listen, Linares got in there. Now I just think Linares went to work too late. Linares finally kind of found the distance. And then when he finally found the distance and then got to Devin, it was too late in the fight. And there was only like a round or two left. So I think that, to me, that's the problem for a number of these guys, whether it's Ryan Garcia, Devin. You can box around him, but eventually you're going to have to fight Tank. And when that happens, can you take the firepower that he's sending? And I think that's what you saw with Barrios. Big, strong guy. And Barrios threw some blows, too. And that just shows that the type of chin that Tank has, because once Tank got in there, you remember when Floyd walked over, because Floyd was watching, looking at our Steve Farhood's scorecard and was like, you down, you need to go, you need to go fucking get him. Exactly. And when he went and turned up that pressure, you see what happened. And I think that's the issue for those guys, is when Tank turns up the pressure and goes get you, can you withstand that barrage that he's coming with?
Exactly. And that's what I say, B. I said with the Devin Haney, I like Devin Haney. But to me, him being 22, I don't know if he's mature in the mind yet to stick to a Floyd Mayweather game plan. Like, Floyd won't care what the crowd say. He don't care what nobody say. He's going to box you. He's going to fight his style of fight. If you can't force him to do something different, you're not going to get it. Me looking at how Devin respond, even from social media world, he wanted to show that he got power. It's not all about power, but you're trying to show that you got power. I think that's where you'll slip up at. But like you said, if you hit Tank and you can't hurt Tank, and once Tank start coming, see, with Mario Barrios, he said something interesting when he said, I was a little worried of his power. He knew Barrios was a big dude he can crack. But somebody like Devin Haney, who I do like, and I do say he got the skill set to beat Tank, he could. But I just think if you hit Tank and you can't hurt him, Tank go get you. He gonna get you.
He's gonna keep coming. Yeah, exactly.
You got something else, Key?
Yeah. So we got a lot of these up and coming fighters. I mean, a lot of these young fighters, they're not fighting. Who do you think is the best young fighter out there right now, in your opinion? We got Tank Davis, we got T.O., we got Shakur Stevenson, Ryan Garcia, all of them.
I like Shakur. I think Shakur. I think Shakur is probably one of the most skilled young fighters out there. I think that fight he just had on ESPN was good for him. It was good for him because he was fighting a guy who could crack, who had just a right hand, and I think he felt it and was like, oh, okay, he can crack a little bit. You know what? I'm just gonna box and just move around. And then he saw all of the feedback, like, oh man, if you're gonna be elite and call yourself elite, those are the kind of fights you need to finish. Sure, you can box around this guy, but there were some times where you could have engaged with him, and if you that bad, you could have taken this guy out, because from a skill level, you're so much better. And I think that's why you saw him apologize, and he said, hey, look, I may not been feeling my best self. Yeah, I'll be better next time. And I think he realized, you know what? Yeah, I should have, really stepped it up against this guy. But, really skilled guy. Chris Colbert, another one. I think he's another one that is I really like his skill set and what he can bring. I think he's only going to get better. Yeah, the boxing is good because we got a lot of good deep divisions. 154 deep, 122 outstanding. You know, you have the cool boy Stephs and guys like that who are coming up. And these are young guys. I mean, they're only like 24 years old. So these are young guys who are going to be around for a long, long time. I think boxing's in a good place right now.
Yeah, I agree with you on the Shakur Stevenson. For me, it's probably him and Jerron Ennis.
Oh, Boots. I mean, and Boots is 24. I mean, 24. And I think it just turned 25. Is it just turned 25? My gosh. And you can tell, listen, you can tell how good Boots is when nobody wants to fight. And people say that all the time, like, yo, B, I see you on Showtime. Okay, it was great that he fought Lipinets and this and that. Yo, why don't y'all put him in there? And Boots will tell you, hey, look, we made the offer to Adrian Broner. They was like, nah. We made the offers to something, and they were like, nah. You know, and I get it. You know, guys at the upper elite 147, what's the reward for them? The reward is not good for them because people are gonna be like, well, you're supposed to beat Boots. I know he's a fighting phenom, but you're supposed to beat this guy at this point. But that says something when nobody's calling him out, nobody's accepting him to fight. And then I think it was Keith Thurman who just last week they asked him about fighting Boots, and he was like, I don't even know who he is.
I don't even know who he is.
Keith Thurman know who he is.
He just turned 24.
He just turned 24. Yeah.
That's scary. The dude knocks out everybody he fights, and he just turned 24. But you know, I think we're going to have him back really soon on Showtime. But I tell you what, man, that dude, I could see that guy being the undisputed champion at 147 if he wants to be.
And let me ask you this, Brian, because I'm happy you brought up Jerron Ennis. To what I ain't gonna say to me, I'm quite sure. Would you agree with this? His rise coming up is just like Errol Spence, like coming up, being dominant as he is, and it's going to be hard for him to get those big names. But what I like about his mentality is just like Errol Spence. I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm gonna build my way up, and the tables will turn. Y'all like as long as I keep putting myself in position, and he even younger than Spence. My opportunities will come, and when they do come, I will show up and show out.
I'm happy you said that because that's the same conversation we had. And when I say we, Jerron and I said, you know, you remind me of a young Errol because in this, at that time, Errol was the same way. Errol was blowing through the competition they gave him, and they kept saying, well, he ain't fought nobody. I remember I was even at the time calling fights, and we would have Danny Garcia on a couple of them. And I was like, Danny, why haven't you fought Errol Spence? And he used to always say, man, he need to prove himself first. I need to see him prove himself against people before I step in the ring with him. I ain't saying I won't want to fight him, but I need to see him prove himself. And that's what they're kind of using that same excuse with Jerron. But you're right. Eventually, they're going to have to fight him. And then he'll pull and he'll do the same thing that you see with Errol. You know, everyone keeps saying, well, why won't he fight Keith Thurman now? Because he had been chasing Keith Thurman for so many years. And then Keith Thurman said, oh, well, why don't he get a belt? Then when he got a belt, he still didn't want to fight him. And so now all of a sudden Keith doesn't have a belt. And you know, Keith is what he want to fight anybody because now he's like in purgatory. He didn't have anybody to fight. And he wants to fight anybody, and he's calling out Errol, and Errol's like, nah, bro, I chased you for 5 years, bro, and you were not even trying to touch me. And then when I got a belt, I said, well, let's get it on, and you still said no. Now, you know, Pacquiao takes your belt and takes it away, and you ain't got nothing. Now all of a sudden you want to know me. Nah, it don't work like that.
Yeah, and bro, I'm happy you said that, bro, because man, Keith was touching on that to where we went down a timeline to where okay, Thurman had his little rise, but my thing was from 15, okay, Errol had to build his name, but when he did build his name, right, Keith still was trying to say this, and then Keith trying to use the excuse now, okay, I was trying to build it up to where we can make X amount of dollars. Nah, the fight still would have been big, right? Yeah. But my thing was, you was in good enough shape to fight Manny Pacquiao. You was in good enough shape to fight Errol Spence. And I'm not telling nobody to turn down a Manny Pacquiao fight. That's life-changing money. I get it, right? But my thing was, you still was in good enough shape to fight Pacquiao. So don't say I was injured because you went and fought Manny Pacquiao, an elite fighter, and look what happened in the fight, right?
Yeah.
And then it was times where you was calling out Conor McGregor and you was calling out Jeff Horn. So in those times you could have fought, and that's when Errol Spence had titles. You
Yes.
had it's not on my to-do list. It's the get back year. 2017 with a little change on it. You had so
Yeah.
many excuses, but now, but look, I still want to see Earl fold him up because I think Earl gonna fold him up. And Keith Thurman is still good for the 47-pound division.
Right.
But now that the tables turn and you get a taste of your own medicine, don't try to put Earl out there like he's ducking you or you telling him
Right.
to leave the division like you calling shots because you lost that position.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure if you ever talk to Errol, he will give you more insight on it. I mean, listen, they got the same manager, so they know how a fight can be made and if a fight can be made. And I think that goes into some of the reason why you see the animosity on Errol's side, because he knew that fight could have been made, should have been made, and then at the last minute, according from my information, it was like, nah, give me this other guy here real quick because I'm trying to, get this kind of fight first. I need to, rehab my hand, and so let me get this kind of fight where Errol was like, oh, we can do it right now, and this would be huge.
Exactly.
And so yeah, that's the sad part of it. But hopefully Keith finds an opponent relatively soon because now he says he's 100% healthy. He says that the hand is back, the shoulder is back, so there's no elbow as well. He says there's no more excuses, and hopefully he can get back in there. I think more than likely it may be a Keith Thurman, Sean Porter 2 again. You got to look at it. That's really the only kind of big fight that he could get right now. And same for Porter because Porter hasn't fought in a while and he needs an opponent.
Facts. No stuff. Okay, Key, what you got? Go a couple more questions. We didn't go let you get up out of here. Been hosting for almost an hour now. What you got, Key?
So congratulations again on the new at ESPN. Your new job at ESPN. Tell us exactly what you're going to be doing at ESPN.
Yeah, I'm really excited. This summer is going to be a busy one. I mean, obviously, we know this weekend we have the fight with Charlo, the undisputed fight on Showtime. I still agreed to call the Big 3 games for Ice Cube, so I'll be doing that on the weekends as well. And then next week, matter of fact, next week I'll be in Bristol to meet the execs. I got to shake some hands, kiss some babies there, take some promo pictures. Then they want me to, take a look in shadow one day, look at the 7 a.m. Sports Center, watch the 6 p.m. Sports Center the next day, and then watch the 10 p.m. Sports Center the next day. And then the last week of July, I want to say it's like the 26th, 27th, 28th. It's that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll be doing the 10 p.m. Sports Center. That's when I'll start on air there. And so I'll be doing the 10 p.m. Sports Center. So that starts at the very end of the last week of July. I'm going to, call college football for them, call college basketball for them. And then, obviously they have the NBA. So they're going to let me call some NBA games too for the next season. So really looking forward to it, man. And we'll still do Showtime. When we have fights for Showtime, then I have to go off and do our fights for Showtime. But I'm really looking forward to it, man, to get the opportunity to not only be in studio to do Sports Center, which is, an iconic brand in itself, but to, go on the road and call games too, which I passionately enjoy. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you calling games.
Yeah,
looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
So B, what you think about this NBA Finals? Who you got?
Yeah, I think it's good, man. I just think overall, Phoenix is the better team. I think they killed themselves in this last game. Give Milwaukee credit because Middleton is like this. If they can get Chris Middleton to be consistent like Giannis, I would definitely give Milwaukee the edge because you would know. Listen, with Giannis, you're going to get 30, 10, and 5 every game. Middleton, you get 40 here. Then the next game you get 18. Then one game you get 12, and then the next game you get 30. You need to have somebody that just going to be consistent for you. CP3 is going to be Chris. Book has got to score at least 25 to 30 for Phoenix. I like their role players. Phoenix killed themselves with the turnovers and the offensive rebounds. They gave Milwaukee way too many offensive rebounds and killed themselves. Well, I think it was 17 turnovers in that last game. That killed them in that last game. I just think it's a series that's probably going to go 7. I lean toward Phoenix, but I wouldn't be surprised if Milwaukee wins it, but I lean towards Phoenix.
And another thing, B, we got football season coming up in the NFL. I'm a big Rams fan. Who is your squad in the NFL, or do you have a favorite team?
You said big Browns fan?
Oh, no, Rams. No.
Oh, Rams. I was like, whoa.
I'm in St. Louis. They left us and went west, but, I'm riding with my squad to the end.
Okay, so, I think, this is a big year for them because, boy genius there, he's got to prove himself.
Yeah.
And, you jettison Jared Goff up out of there, and that's the reason why you go get a Matt Stafford, because you want a guy who you can trust.
Right.
So, listen, they got a defense that's one of the best. Now, I think with this quarterback, they're going to be right up in there. And that West is, that's a damn good division. Whether it's Arizona, who always plays them tough.
Yeah.
San Fran is going to be tough as well. So that's a really good division. Listen, for me, I, even as a kid, I was a Cowboys fan, so I'm always going to ride with them boys. My man Dak is healthy again. I got to have me a defense that can stop somebody. You see what I'm saying? If I can get a defense that can stop it, at least, just give a team 20 points. You know what I mean? Don't give them 30, 35. Well, my offense has got to try to outscore you every game. It's not going to work. So I think Jerry got the message, and he tightened up the defense. And I'm always going to roll with my Cowboys. But look, Tampa is going to be strong. I think the Rams are going to be really, really strong. And then in the AFC, it's going to be interesting to see if Kansas City can roll that thing back, and if they made the necessary adjustments, especially up front for Mahomes, because you saw that Super Bowl, they made him look bad, and that defense was after, because he spent more time scrambling trying to get away from that pass rush than anything. So, the key for them is making sure that they've addressed their offensive line.
True. He said, what do you think about the Julio Jones trade?
Man, I'll be honest with you. I think that I really was hoping that he went to Baltimore. I was like, man, I really wish that Baltimore would invest and get him for Lamar Jackson, because I thought that's all he needed. He got him a player like that. That's all Baltimore needed to take that next step. I think with him going to Tennessee, they got the best running back in the league. Let's be honest. In Derrick Henry, they got the best running back, and they've already invested in their QB and said, "Look, we're gonna go with Tannehill. Tannehill's our guy." And don't get me wrong, Tannehill's played great for them the past couple of seasons.
Yep.
I think it's funny that you have Vrabel, New England, a defensive guy, and that defense has been garbage. Let's not sugarcoat it. People look at Tennessee and be like, "Oh man, they got a great running game. They got Vrabel. They know for defense. Look at the numbers they gave up defensively. They got to get that defense together." I think if they get their defense together, that'll be a hell of a trade for Tennessee, because now they got a big time receiver. They got a big time running back. The quarterback is going to put up big time numbers. That defense needs to do his job. If that defense does his job, hey, look out Tennessee if you're Kansas City.
Okay. I'm gonna let my brother Key have the last question, B, and you get up out of here. What you got, Key?
Well, I was gonna ask about the Cowboys, because I'm a Cowboy fan too.
Now, man, Zeke, Zeke is posting videos of him chest, abs ripped, and then I'm like, just keep your hand on football this year.
I got two for you, because I want to ask about the Lakers too, but I'm gonna get on the Cowboys real quick. Now, I love Parsons. I love that pick. I love Parsons. I can't think of his name. The cornerback that we picked up, he rapped.
Yes.
I like him. What's his name?
Yeah, and he had issues off the field, but that, those are Jerry specials there. When you got
Exactly.
issues off the field, but you really talented on the field, that's why they went and got him, and that's the key. They have to be better, obviously on the edges, outside, but at that safety position, it is so crucial. And that, and look, they went and got the kid out of Minnesota and went and got went and got some help there. But that defensive secondary needs to be better up front. Hey, look, we know Marcus is going to do what he has to do and get in there and do what he has. Randy Gregory had more quarterback pressures than anybody. He didn't even start and only played half the season. So now he's going to have a full season. So they'll be better up front. Parsons going to help solidify the middle because Van Der Esch has had now all of a sudden problems staying healthy. Jalen Smith was like the guy that every Cowboy fan was like, get this dude out of here. He's making mistakes. He's going to be better. It's always those guys on the outside that's got to hold it down. So, with Dan Quinn now the defensive coordinator, that's his specialty.
Yeah.
He needs to come in there and get a scheme that fits those guys. But you got the tools now, and please just make this the year that we do some things, and we'll see.
Yeah, I feel you. Now my thing, I want to end what I have to ask you with the Lakers. I got an unpopular. See, my thing is Anthony Davis. Okay, I'm a diehard Lakers fan. Anthony Davis obviously is a great player, but he's always injured. He was injured with the Pelicans all the time. Same thing with the Lakers. My thing is I think that they need to trade him to why they can get a lot of value for him right now if they can make a trade with him. Do you ever see Anthony Davis honestly staying healthy throughout the whole season? Because LeBron ain't got too much longer left. Now they're trying to build this team around Anthony Davis, and I can't see them building a successful team around Anthony Davis if he's never going to stay healthy.
Well, I guess the best way to answer that is a tiger never changes his spots, right? I mean, let's be honest about that. He is without question out of the world talent. You want to build around him, but I would say just know that when you build around him, that you build around him with guys who complement him, but also guys that you can count on if he has to go down. And I think if you look at his track record, it was the same thing in New Orleans. And now that he's even come to LA, it's been the same thing. So that. You just have to make sure that when you build around him, that you build around him with guys that that ain't scared and that you can count on as well, because at some point he's gonna get hurt.
So would you keep him or would you trade him if you was in charge, if you was the GM?
Yeah. That's an unbelievable talent. You know what I mean? That is a phenomenal talent. You gotta be giving me. That's like, you better be giving me somebody like, look, I'm a Maverick fan. You better be giving me somebody like Luka and throwing in some young stud who durable, who I know won't be on the court, but is also a guy that's a franchise type guy. So that's if I'm ever going to do that trade, it's got to be somebody like that I'm getting back in return. And I know in this kind of NBA, generally you don't get that, but that's the only way I would trade an Anthony Davis like that.
Okay. Now B, I know we said this is the last question, I promise. Sha'Carri Richardson, man, look, my little heart hurt for her because I feel like, and I know people be strict on the U.S. Olympics, they rules and things of that nature. But when we look at a little weed, like, and I know I could just say that we can just say this because we want to see her run, but the rules are the rules, though. But do you think that's something they should have bended? You know what I mean? Just to say, okay, now it was her and it was a situation that she went through, and it's not like this is a performance enhancement drug or things of that nature that's gonna help out or nothing like that. Do you feel like they should have let her run, or do you think the rules are the rules? You got to abide by the rules, and it's a learning lesson for her, and she's still young to get into the next Olympics. But do you think they should have let her run, or do you think
Yeah,
rules are rules?
yeah. I think on if I was going to be honest about it, I think if I was like, okay, let the you could have amended this to let her run. Now I understand. Then all of a sudden they're saying, but what about then all these other type of people that we have punished for this and that and blah 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 blah. Yeah, I think that's the easy thing to say. But listen, the rule is the rule. I think, and obviously she knew it going into there.
Yeah.
I think the good thing about it is a lot of times these things happen, and it's better for the future. And now that it has happened, I bet you see that it gets amended here right after the Olympics is done. You see something like that get amended so that this doesn't happen the next time. And I think maybe that's probably the positive that we'll see out of this.
Okay, but man, Brian, I want to thank you so much, my brother, man. I know you got a busy day today.
Yeah.
For you to take time out your schedule, man, and give me the time, bro, like it means a lot. It means a lot, and I appreciate it so much. And once again, y'all go over to the Last Stand podcast and make sure y'all subscribe to the best man that's doing it out there. We're giving you your flowers and your just due, because you is the hottest podcast and the hottest interviewer out there. I'll be learning from you, B. I'll be learning from you, bro.
Hey, so, I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the love, man, and I appreciate everybody's support. And listen, if whether it's a company, boxing related, or whoever who wants to sponsor, hey, look, we're always looking for good sponsors to keep this thing rolling. They can Venmo. They want to support the show too. Venmo the show at Brian Custer, I think is _11. And then they can follow us on social media. We have an IG account at Last Stand Podcast. At B Custer TV on Instagram and on Twitter. And just make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe, man. And we're going to just continue to pump out great content.
Yes, and I'm continuing to push and make sure people subscribe as well, my brother. Key, what's your last words to be?
Oh, man, just appreciate you coming on, man. We had fun, great conversation. And like you said, subscribe to the Last Stand Podcast and make sure that y'all hit his like button. When you watch his videos, hit the like button.
Yep, I appreciate that, my brother. And look, man, we're gonna have a production meeting here as we try to nail down everything we're gonna do with this Charlo fight this weekend, and then I'm gonna go have dinner and have dinner with Derek James. So I'm gonna try to get some more insight on what EJ's got going on and Mel trying to go on from I think one of the best trainers in the world right now.
Right. I think he is the best trainer to me.
And World Combat Sports, he just wanted to say salute to you. He's a journalist himself. He actually, is out there in the field doing a lot of work in the field. So he just wanted to say salute to you himself.
Hey, my brother, man. Salute to him. I love to see brothers in this because we in it together, and we got to help and support one another.
Right. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. B, have a good one, my brother.
Okay, man. You guys take care.
Okay,
thank you.
All right.
Demetrius Bryce, hey, Money Keon, thanks for the interview. Thanks, Brian. Man, that was cool, man. Man, that was real. Like, he had a real busy day today, fam. He had to do the press conference with Charlos. Then he got, the production thing he got going on for him, to take his time out, man, and show us some love. Like I say, I appreciate it, man. Very interesting man, man. I knew he's a cool dude. It's going to be a good interview. You can ask him much more than that, man. My brother, man, what's my guy name? I appreciate all the super chats. Where you at? Big Truck Trap Star. But man, you on Brian Custer, like Custer, working for Fury, bro. It's some things that he, once they say some things and they max out as that, bro, we gotta let that be that. You feel me? Shouldn't say thank you and congratulations, Brian Custer. Love your work, man. I appreciate all y'all for coming through, showing love as well, man. Hell of an interview, though. Hell of an interview, bro.
Yeah, man. We had fun, man.
Yeah, no doubt. But I know my brother Blue on right now, y'all. So, I'm going to get ready to wrap this up, man. And World Combat, thank you so much, everybody in the super chat coming through, showing love. Big Trap Star, man. It was an honor, man. I know y'all was dropping them. Yes, I appreciate y'all, man. But, yeah, like, it's this thing that called you got to catch that hint. You feel me? And I ain't trying to overwhelm the man with Tyson Fury question. We already know what Tyson Fury is and what he's doing, things of that nature. Right, he gave his perspective on it. I caught that hint to where it's like, you feel me? It is what it is with his ass. That's what they do. You feel me? Nah, he on it. We doing the interview, bro. He ain't on the hot seat, champ. We ain't moving like that. You feel me? That's the man first time on my show, homie. We ain't trying to blast him with those type of words and you feel me? Make motherfuckers like, no, I ain't going back on that show.
Yeah, you can't. We ain't trying to force nobody to talk about something. You
That ain't
know,
really got shit to do with him.
that ain't got nothing to do with him. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like that he's Tyson Fury or he a part of the Tyson Fury camp. You know that he's not obligated to answer them questions. You know, I mean, he ain't got nothing to do with it.
Yeah, you gotta catch the vibes, my brother. You hear me? It's a different type of vibe, homie. You feel me? But Keith, what's your last words to the people, bro?
Oh man, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure that y'all hit Money Brown like button, and then make sure that y'all go subscribe to Everything Boxing and Sports. Go subscribe to my channel, Everything Boxing and Sports, and hit my like button when you watch my videos. I appreciate y'all. We had, you know what I'm saying, we had fun.
Hey, Efren Lopez, that's right, bro. Let's go rounds. Hey, boy, you getting brownie points of money, boy. Keep on talking like that. Get yourself a wrench. You hear me? But I want to appreciate everybody for coming through, showing love, man. Like I say, Brian, he took the time out this day to show us love and give me an interview, man, in a busy day. And, you know, I couldn't ask for much more. Thank you to everybody that came through in the super chat. Big Truck Trap Star. I appreciate you, my brother. Much love, much appreciated. I am going to hit you with that wrench, too, bro. Let me hit you with that wrench real fast. But you did come through and show love. But, man, like I say, man, we couldn't ask for nothing more, you know, than that. And I will be doing the show tonight at 8 o'clock. So, the grind still continue, man. We just know I know Blue for to get ready and go live and things like that. So William Old School, I'm hit you with the wrench. You've been coming through, Sean Lowe. Let me I see Nick J in the building too. Let me find her wrench up. My brother from St. Louis, I'm gonna wrench you up, bro. I go Nick J. There's Nick J. Clarence McLean, wrench you up, my brother. Efren Lopez, just for that let's go rounds, bro. You done earned yourself a wrench. And that's gonna be that. That's gonna be that. But man, like my brother Keith say, man, we appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all go subscribe to my brother, Everything Boxing and Sports. Y'all going over there and hit that bell button. My brother that took his time out, gave me his time because he was still supposed to be going. So I appreciate you, bro. Go subscribe to my brother, Knockout Boxing 86 TV. Go subscribe to my brother, World Combat Sports. Scotty, he's in the field. Scotty is actually in the field. Actually in the field doing work. He ain't just on this YouTube. So y'all show him love. And Scott, you continue to nurse yourself back to health, man, because you know we need you out here in these boxing streets, and it's all love, bro. But y'all know what it is, man. It's your boy Monty. It's the NSBC movement. Everybody's taking these streets. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you want to donate OG money on Cash App, TreyHampton52@gmail.com on PayPal. If not, just tell a friend, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share the video. Y'all know how your boy get down, man. Big dog status, family. Y'all continue having a good day, man. I'll see y'all tonight at 8.